Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski. We have an amazing feature because I'm going to introduce to you two unbelievable coaches that you may not know yet because they are just getting rolling in their professional career, at least Andrew Kose as a professional NGA competitor, and Jessica, formerly Estes, now Kose, who is a National Academy of Metabolic Science coach, and we are just thrilled to have them here. We're going to go through exactly what you guys are doing right now in your business. But first, let's go through your personal journey a little bit. And Andrew, let's start with you because I know you personally have just, was it just last year you won your pro card in the NGA?
Yeah, correct. That is correct. It was last year.
Yeah, last May.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. How long had you been pursuing that as a goal? You've been training for a long time, obviously. So when did you say, man, this is my goal. I want to be on the big stage?
Actually, it hasn't been super long in that discipline, we'll say. I've been very competitive basically my whole life. And I trained, did join the military, been training for, in the weight room quite a bit, different things, like firefighter combat challenge, to play hockey and stuff like that. But, right when I met you I was kind of a turning point, and I was like, I think I'd be good at this. It's something I wanted to pursue. I always enjoyed pushing my body and seeing what I could do. And, when I met her, I kind of brought the idea almost with self-doubt and just kind of joking. And she basically pushed me into it. She's like, hey, you're going to do this. It's something you said you wanted to do. And that was what, 2017, 2016, 2017. And so really, 2 years or so, I came up with a good game plan, and had some good people mentoring me and guiding me, and we went that way.
Yeah. And first of all, I mean, for you to be competing for that short of a period of time and already becoming pro says a lot about not only your genetics and your drive, your ability to train hard, but what about that transition to competing surprised you most? What was that first time on the stage like?
Leading up to it, for sure, what surprised me was the impact of the nutrition. It just blew my mind when I started looking at what it really did for my body. I mean, typical military fashion, just wrecked it. I wasn't really doing anything correct. And then stepping on stage, I kind of thought that it was almost more the camaraderie that you had, with that fun or with the shows that really made it fun. It was a lot of fun, obviously, doing well all those times on stage, but it's the people that you meet and those connections, because you would assume in a sport where you get judged that it would be more, I don't even know if catty is the word, but people would stick to themselves and it's not like that at all. Backstage was some of the best memories. I know even when we did it, it was a lot of fun meeting people and that process itself. So,
we did our first show together, and then we did mixed pairs. Okay. And so, even before any awards came out, we got to be on stage together, and we just blew it away. It was amazing.
Yeah. So I think that would be the highlight of it, was meeting the people, the atmosphere of competing, not just stepping on stage. It was fun, obviously, showing off all my hard work and the effort I put in and the sacrifices. There's a lot of sacrifices with it, but meeting the people and meeting people that have gone through the same thing you did is awesome.
Absolutely. And Jessica, that was not your first time to the stage, correct?
It was both of our first.
Oh, wow.
So I had lost 40 pounds, and just trial and error and all that stuff. And then finally, as soon as I got down to a manageable weight, I got a tummy tuck. And then I was like, let's do this stage thing. And then I met Andrew, and I was like, we threw around the idea and was like, hey, why don't we just try this? And then it turns out that he's absolutely amazing at it. Me, not so much for figure, and I don't have the right, physique for a bikini girl, but
little too much muscle there, huh?
A little bit.
It was fun.
Well, you guys have that in common, bringing that together. And I would love to know, before you decided to turn that corner on competition, what was your mindset toward nutrition and fitness and health? Because along the way, you guys created Kose Fitness, your personal training and nutrition consulting company. So before you competed, did you have any goals to become fitness entrepreneurs?
No.
Not at all. I know even like, and I mentioned the nutrition, but I've competed on a fairly large stage with the Firefighter Combat Challenge. And I mean, pre-workouts were, 2 energy drinks and a breakfast burrito from some fast food chain. I mean, there was zero understanding of it. I really wish I knew that back then, obviously, but yeah, there wasn't really even a desire to start it. That happened later, really.
Yeah. I mean, since I was in the process of losing weight, there was just so much misinformation out there that I didn't know what was the right information. And then once we started dieting down, I kind of figured out like what my body did and what it liked. And then it got me more interested in what my body was doing. And then I started listening to all these podcasts and learning the actual science behind it.
So you guys are on this path that is very interesting to the anthropology side of me, because there's a very common starting point, but I'm going to get to a place where I think you guys are diverging a little bit into an area that I love and I so respect you for doing. But you guys are just cruising along. You're healthy. Or at least you're trying to be healthy. You're improving your health. Then you take it to that extreme level of competition. You see exactly what that can mean for you. Obviously, people have to be asking you questions. How are you doing that? Oh my gosh, I knew you back then. Look at you now. Can you help me? And all of a sudden, the light bulb goes off, and you're thinking, yeah, I would love to help people. I'm really excited about this. And so there are basically 2 ways I think a lot of people can go and have gone. One is that you get so excited about that stage experience, and you especially, Andrew, coming out, guns blazing, get that pro card. You're going to be competing perhaps in the NGA universe this year, which I think you're going to totally win. You got some great coaching in your back pocket.
Wow.
But you could focus on that. You could say, this is what I want to do. I want to become one of these glam Instagram type coaches, but you still have this huge heart toward helping just the people in your community, the people who want to improve their health, prevent heart disease, regain their lives. So at the center of Kose Fitness is just becoming the experts, the dominating force in your community, so that you can help everybody have access to this kind of support and transformation. Did I say that accurately, or am I way off base?
No, that's 100% right.
I think to dive a little deeper and really just tell you guys the why we created it. And a little backstory, obviously we went through this process and we really learned a lot, and we saw things that people were lacking and things that people did really well, right? You want to learn on both spectrums. And yeah, people definitely were asking us stuff. Even before we stepped on stage, just our circles around us, the spheres that we are a part of. And that definitely played a role in it. But getting into the real why we created it was, I'm trying to think how to word it correctly, but I knew that I wanted to be a firefighter. I looked at schooling. I actually joined the military a little later. And I wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to help people. Been doing it.
Literally save people.
Well, that's the goal, right?
Right.
I bless everybody that does it. For me, I hit a breaking point. I got really tired of trying to control people's chaos at their worst moments. And I know, Joe, if I'm doing CPR, I don't have a lot of control. I can do my best and hope for the best, but I got tired of really getting to people before I could make what I felt was a really, really solid impact. Yes, can I help extricate people from car accidents and help people? Yeah, I can do all that. But I got tired of it. And on this last deployment, we were kicking around the idea, and we said, let's do it. And we got certified and decided that, hey, let's be on the prevention side of things. Let's get to people before they hit their worst moments. Let's, make an impact, help people live healthier lives, establish healthy habits. That's really what we try to do. Lots of people can go on crash diets and do this and that and get their transformation photos, but we really pride ourselves on trying to invest in people and build that habit so that they can sustain life and, life's obstacles. So I'm not gonna long-winded there, but that's really why we did it.
No, that's exactly why I did the same thing. My background was orthopedic physical therapy, and I was cruising along, just living my life, but I was also an amateur bodybuilder. And in one single year, I had won my WNBF Pro card, and all of a sudden, that whole world opened up to me. At that very same fall, I had graduated with my first doctorate in nutrition, never planned on doing anything, coaching didn't even exist. I was just writing for fitness magazines. And when I made that transition, my first step into fitness entrepreneurship was to buy a small gym that was essentially kind of a boutique training studio, but we had a couple hundred members. And then I started developing nutrition programming and all of the ancillary services I think that people would want. And, this goes back almost 25 years ago. And that was my heart. That's exactly where I wanted to go for the exact same reasons you guys expressed here. And so you in Boise, Idaho, me in Evansville, Indiana, I think there's a missing opportunity that a lot of people overlook, which is to become the expert in your community. Because there are an awful lot of people who just look at the fact that, well, I can go to a personal trainer, or I can go to a registered dietitian in a hospital, or, maybe a big box chain, order some frozen meals online, or, from a TV commercial. But this entire industry, which has just exploded in the last 10 to 15 years, positions people like you guys as fitness and health professionals, where even physicians would feel much more comfortable referring their patients to you. And so there is this massive upswell into this industry. And I even see people now who are circling in a little bit late. I know a lot of people who have made their mark in the coaching industry from a competitive physique sport standpoint. And now they're all of a sudden having the same type of epiphany moments that you guys are, that, wait a second, this is a lot of fun helping people, improve their health for no other reason than just to live a higher quality life. And as you said, literally, save their lives. And so it's an interesting push. I think this is going to become the next big wave in coaching. And you guys are establishing yourselves right there in a way that I think is not only ahead of the curve, but I think it just says a lot about, you guys as professionals, your goals, your motives. And I love to see and support people who are making these decisions, because it's so incredibly necessary. I'm sure you guys have story after story of clients who have already had amazing life change experiences with you.
Oh yeah.
So tell me what sustains that. Like, as you guys are going, and entrepreneurship of any sort is tough, but in this realm, what keeps you going? What makes you want to keep seeing more and more people influenced by your expertise?
So I think that's two things, right? One, obviously the support at home. Luckily, we're doing this together. So it's kind of a dual-headed thing, right? If I'm not motivated one day, or I'm struggling or whatnot, she kind of picks me up, and vice versa, right? So being able to lean on your business partner at all times of the time, or all times of the day, she's right here. The second thing, though, is really when you start celebrating the wins, and not just your wins, but the wins that your clients have. When you get to celebrate with your clients, with the people that are losing the weight or regaining mobility, or getting off medications that they've been on for years because of how you helped them, how you've impacted them. Those are the things that help lift you up, right? Not just, all right, hey, got paid today. Like, that's money is just the tool to help more people. Right. So.
And Jessica, you have really bent over backwards to try and improve your proficiency. I see you really digging in academically to become better. What is your goal for your business? Where do you see Kose Fitness in the next 5 to 10 years?
So we would like to open like a little boutique gym, like you had said that you started. And, I want to do something with like supplements, maybe have like a little store or something like with our gym, because supplements are, of course, to supplement your nutrition, but there's a lot of people that just don't, they just go to a store and just buy a random things. They don't know what they're putting into their body. And so I would like to inform them on the correct things to take to help enhance their abilities and, and stuff like that. But yeah, we want to open a gym and essentially just help as many people as we can. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and they said like 70% of the United States is overweight and obese, and that's the high, one of the highest amounts that has been right now. So there's got to be something soon to happen in the United States to help people,
Yeah, take people being proactive and doing what we're doing. Unfortunately, the way society is, you know all too well, it's cheaper to eat trash. I mean, it's hard. It's more expensive to eat healthy. You got to prep it. It's not convenient. So just the way that society is shifting or has been shifting is a hurdle, but we want to break through and hopefully, get to people with that. So,
it's interesting that just in the few years you guys have been doing this, you're already seeing cultural change. And I'm glad you phrased it like that, because that's exactly where I wanted to head next. I mean, I could tell you 25 to 30 years worth of change that I've seen, but it definitely is happening faster. And even though it does kind of go in cycles, I see, because of social media and the easy access to just free information, YouTube, social media, et cetera, whether it's right or not, there has definitely been a massive change. And some of the things that people were willing to do and to learn and to go through a process to attain maybe 20, 25 years ago, there's definitely an expectation for a little bit of a lower entry barrier, make things easier for me. And I would love to hear your thoughts on where people are now. When you sit down with somebody who's never gone through this process before, at least with a professional like you, what do you see as their needs to really get them engaged and started on a path that would be most sustainable? How do you have to function right off the bat as professionals?
The first thing that we notice is that the majority of people that come to us, they have zero idea what a macro is. And I don't know if that's just the majority of people don't understand that, or if it's just the clients that we're seeing currently. But we have to explain to them, the calorie balance. And it's not just your overall calories, it's your calorie balance of the macros that we need to pay attention to, because you want to change your body composition. You don't want to be just lighter. You don't want to be skinny fat. You want to have lean muscle, and you want to do it the correct way.
I think, going off what she just said, the biggest issue is and you hit it on the head, right? Back in the day, we wanted to learn something. We had to go to the library. We don't have instant, nowadays kids just, when I say kids, but people in general, they can use the restroom and do their research at the same time. So, it's kind of different.
Which I constantly do.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Me too. Always update my coach that way. But with that, there's so much information readily accessible that they don't know what's trash or what's good. And I think it's two things. We are in a task saturated, or not task, but we are in a saturated market. And, we don't want to be the clients or the coaches that just give you a program and, hey, we'll see you when it's time to pay us again. We want to invest in people. Most people can read. They don't know how to decipher what they're reading. We need to explain the why to them. Why it's important that macros are counted, not just calories. Why you want to perform these movements like this. Why form is more important than just bro lifting and leaving your ego at the door. So there's all these whys that people have. You need to really just, in the general population, Gen Pop type clients, you're nurturing them. You're nurturing them from the beginning. So you're not taking an adolescent or a graduate from high school and, hey, you guys have worked out before and just go do this. I mean, you're taking baby steps and teaching them how to crawl. Hey, this type of food this is what's in carbs. This is what fats are. This is what a dumbbell is, and this is what a barbell is. And I think that the keys to it is understanding that you have to teach the whys and be patient. A lot of people are intimidated by all this, and just because you know it doesn't mean that they do. And just because you think you're explaining how you were taught doesn't mean that that's how they're going to receive that information. So interpersonal skills is big.
Mm-hmm. I would say the thing that is a constant that is the same from 25 years ago to now is that the people who will succeed are the ones who are open to that. And we know that 95% of people who lose weight regain it. We have seen those obesity and overweight stats go from 30% of the population to 50 to 70. And so as our society becomes a little bit more dire in terms of what they need, there still are people at that top who say, okay, I'm finally at my wit's end. I need some help. I'm willing to do this. You guys are going to have to sift through a lot of other people who aren't quite there, and to impress upon them that, look, man, you know, this is what it's going to take. And they may have to stumble a few times and have you help them back up to really learn that lesson. But what you said there, Andrew, is as a teacher is the seminal role. I mean, as a fitness professional, things that medical professionals have never had the time to do is to sit down and truly educate and monitor and take people through a process. So for you to have 8, 12 week, you know, maybe 6 month or 12-month programming where clients can follow you through that entire journey by the hand, you lead them just to that next step. I will say that fewer and fewer people are willing to just sit down, as you said, Jessica, and learn, hey, these are what macronutrients are. This is why you need to track this. I mean, imagine 25 years ago when nobody knew what this stuff was, and I was the first one trying to teach it. I will say in my local community, people were very receptive because it was a new thing. They weren't getting this at Weight Watchers or somewhere else. And so there was a lot of interest. Now that some of those buzzwords are out there and you can do all of that work just with a click of a button through an app, I think it has really dumbed down the process. Yeah. Because now when you teach people macros, oh, I know what that is. Look, I already have a MyFitnessPal account. Well, what do you really know? You could ask them, you know, how many grams of carbs are in an apple or in a 4-ounce chicken breast, and they have no idea. They just punch in the buttons and the data is there. So I really do think those who are willing to go through that process with you are going to have lifelong change. I just had dinner with 3 former clients. These are people who came to us 5, 6, 7 years ago. And as many clients do, they become friends. And so here they are, you know, one couple having lost 60 pounds each and another gentleman who'd lost 40 or 50 pounds. And, you know, we're just out having dinner, having fun as friends. But I can look at them and say, you are part of the 2 to 5% who succeeded, who have kept this weight off, who made these life-changing decisions and stuck to them. I just wonder if you guys have seen that yet, where you can say, look, we help these people and they're still doing it. This stuff works.
Yeah. I would say for sure. There's obviously the ones that, you know, fall through the cracks, but we definitely have some clients that are able to do that, you know, in the beginning, we definitely held their hand. We even have a client that, I wouldn't say fell off the wagon, but life definitely threw him a hurdle and was able to get right back into it, you know, took the time that was needed, showed that he's proficient in what we were teaching him. So, yeah, I would definitely say that, the healthy habits are being established and, you know, we're getting there.
And I can actually, like, you know, connect with our clients because I was that person. It took me 2 years to figure out my stuff and drop 40 pounds, you know, and I went through everything. I went through all the crash diets. I tried everything. And what actually got me is, weird, sticking to tracking macros. Like, I know what works because I did it, and I've kept it off now for 4 years. So it's just one of those, like, I have to tell my clients, like, hey, I've been in your shoes. You know, I 100% understand what you're going through, and we can do this together.
And I think one of the things with that, you know, you were talking about, you know, there's not a lot of people that are willing to sit down with you and go through that whole process. And I think one of the things that makes us fairly unique is that we're very relatable. We're genuine and we're very authentic. People get that right out the gate, but we're very relatable. You know, I know she was gorgeous back then, by the way. Not just she was gorgeous, but she did lose a lot of weight, and she had her own transformation. And I mean, going into my senior year of high school, I was like 5'2", 115. You know, I was not a large human being. I was a runt. And so I kind of learned how to do that process myself too. So we kind of have different ends of the spectrum, but together we can cover most bases because we've been there. So
And that is an important part. I'll give you one last story here. I have a client who just started with me, a guy who travels a lot. He's neck deep in his own business. And he's one of these fresh faces who really didn't understand macronutrients. This is all new. So he thinks he's just going to get a meal plan. This is your diet and we're going to go on. And so we start talking through the process, and there is some resistance, not because he doesn't want to do the work, but the information, the education, the knowledge is just not there. So we start from square one, and his first week is pretty messy, and we're going through sorting things out. I'm looking at actual meal plans. Tell me what you ate here to get 120 grams of fat when we were targeting 60, and there are all these things to sort through. And if those kind of clients just don't have, as you said, Andrew, authentic, genuine coaches who care, who aren't just saying, hey, try harder, do better, try and hit those marks, it's not going to work. And so here's a guy who is also sending me blood stats because his health is the central part of his goal. And now he's getting it. And every single week, we're 4 or 5 weeks in, you just see him getting better and better and better, but his knowledge base is improving. And if you have a very stern, my way or the highway, you got to do it this way right now, it's just not going to work. Clients have to be met where they are. And that's the biggest scattering I see now in this new digital age. A lot of people need to really start a few steps further back than they used to. And they really have to get the information they want because it's so readily available online. If you're not going to provide it, they'll just go do it. They'll print off meal plans, or they'll hire somebody who's willing to just do the work for them. So you really have to captivate them and show them some initial success, show them why that work is important and where it's paying off. And, I'm just thrilled that you guys are doing this. Like I said, I do not talk to many coaches who say, my greatest goal for my business is to work with those kinds of clients who really need it most for their own personal health, happiness, and even the entire direction of their family.
Well, we're pretty humbled to have you request us on here. It's been a lot of fun, and we definitely enjoy it. We enjoy chatting with you.
So how long do you think it'll be before you get the Kose Fitness facility in motion?
Less than 24 months.
Okay, I like it.
That's the goal.
I'm gonna write that down on my notes and make sure we do that because I'm not kidding when I say that is going to be a game changer for you, because when you can see those clients repetitively 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you're taking care of their fitness needs as well as nutrition, their level of competence will accelerate so quickly, and the kind of results you see statistically will climb to such higher percentages. It's going to transform your business, and it's going to help you see more people. It really is.
Well,
yeah, we're excited for it.
Yeah, we're super excited. I can send you a picture of our whiteboard. It's already on there. You won't have to write it.
We'll do that. We can put that in the show notes. But another thing that we will do is put your guys' contact information, because I want people to know where you are in Idaho, tucked away, just kind of hiding on that side of the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, everybody knows about Boise because we're the fastest growing city in the United States.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So you must be rivaling like Nashville and Austin.
Yeah, it's insane.
Is that because of some of the industry that has moved in there?
I don't know. It's just a lot of people are moving up here from California, just getting away from all their crazy places and.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Well, now it is a total honor to have you on here. So Andrew Kose, Jessica Kose. I can't just tell you how valuable this is going to be for other people who want to get into the coaching industry and may have a little bit more insight and direction into the real health value of what a coach can do. So thank you guys so much.
Hey,
thank you, Joe.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. And thank you guys for watching and listening. Contest Prep University. We're going to keep bringing you some great features, and I'll drag Adam back into the studio here so we can keep doing topical things in our quicker CPU daily podcast. So we will catch you guys next time.